Hello, I'm Mark, and this is In the Round On-Armature Boss Tutorial Series Part 8, the mouth. When building up the structures of the mouth, it's very important to understand their boundaries. Many people think of the mouth as just the red, or vermilion, of the lips, but this is only the margin of a much larger complex of structures that extends up to the nose, out to the nasolabial furrow, and down to curve around the mental protuberance of the chin. The primary features of the mouth include the philtrum, the nasolabial furrow, the modiolus, the crest of the lip, the volumes of the depressors labii inferioris, sometimes called the pillars of the mouth, and the mentolabial sulcus between them. Within the red of the lip, there are typically 3 volumes or tubercles above and 2 below, but this can vary greatly from person to person. Though not strictly part of the mouth structures, we will also be adding the volume of the chin here and building up the jaw as necessary. The most important thing to keep in mind when forming the mouth is the shape of the dental arches, which curve back like horseshoes into the depth of the head. Far and away the most common mistake beginners make with mouths is to have the corners of the mouth too protrusive. Make sure to keep the corners deep by checking them frequently in the profile, top-down, and bottom-up views. Start with a fat, heavily tapered log of clay, something like a Mr. Potato Head mustache. Position it directly below the nose and flatten it up to the columella and out to the nasolabial furrows. With your thumbs, shape the vermilion of the upper lip. You are defining 2 planes here with a sharp, clean transition line from caught light to cast shadow between them. With the back of a brush, compress in to indicate the philtrum. Check the profile view to see if the philtrum meets the columella at the correct point along the profile length of the nose. Usually this is about halfway. Check also that the corners of the mouth are far enough back. Typically these will be well behind the back point of the wing of the nose. Take a shorter, fatter log of clay and position it below the upper lip. Compress at the center down to create the mentolabial sulcus. Compress out and down on either side to form the pillars of the mouth. Check the profile view again to see if the depth of the upper and lower lips are in proper relation to each other. Check the corners of the mouth again to ensure that they're deep enough. Add a ball of clay for the chin. Add 2 small balls of clay outside the corners of the mouth. In profile, these will eclipse the depth of the corners of the mouth and will angle slightly back. This structure, a mound formed by a bunch of intersecting muscle attachments, is called the modiolus. Be careful not to let them flood the mouth, bringing the corners too far forward or pinching them in toward the midline. Add 2 approximately 1/4 inch diameter coils of clay, starting above the wings of the nose and extending down, around, and slightly under the modiolus. These will define the nasolabial furrows. It may now be necessary to make small additions to the jawline to build up its mass, particularly around the chin. If so, go slowly with small, successive additions of clay, checking your symmetry and measurements as you go. Work the structures in with water, serrated loop tools, scouring pads, brushes, and/or sponges, bringing them together. Build up the philtrum, sculpting it into the underside of the nose. This can be a complex transition, but to simplify things, think of it almost as if the philtrum extends up inside the nose, with the columella coming in and the wings extending around to meet it. Be careful not to make the lips concave, particularly the upper lip. Many people confuse the curvature of the philtrum, which, in profile, is often concave, with the curvature of the entire structure of the upper lip, which is typically mostly convex. Check your measurements and symmetry. Redefine your structures with compression tools and brushes, building up your masses with small additions of clay where necessary. Continue to define, refine, and redefine until the masses are sufficiently built up. As with the nose, there's still more work to be done, but that must wait until we've built up more of the face, while some details can only be articulated after the clay starts to dry out. The final detailing will only happen after we've removed the bust from its armature, hollowed it out, and reassembled it. For now, it's time to double-check our measurements, reasserting the locations of the notches of the ears before we go on to build the ears in Part 9.